to the nth degree.
She's gonna be straight right now.
We've done the street
Means you should ask. Du dog smoking.
That's an old trick.
You like that one?
I've heard that one many
Yes.
times.
Doesn't mean you don't like it.
Pick which one you like better.
Oh, you have to ask.
And then Jacoby should
Come
be
in on the
your
last
best,
line of it, you know the joke.
Yeah, I know.
Why do you ask?
Get you more classy on 130. Coach Danny Rocco will begin with an opening statement and then open it up to questions. Coach Rocco.
All right, thanks a lot, Scott. Really disappointed in the result last weekend, with the score, the outcome of the game. I did think we played hard. I do believe we showed some real signs of being able to have a really good football team this year. Offensively, we had 3 drives that I thought were exceptional, and felt real good the way we fought to finish the game. Offensively, being able to drive there at the end for score, I thought was really big. But holistically, played uphill the whole second half with our inability to get first downs and our inability to cover our punt game. So moving forward, I'm excited about the challenge this week down at Hampton. Really anticipate seeing our guys rise up and bring the kind of energy and see us respond like a confident team should respond on the road against a very, very talented opponent. This time I'll take any questions here from the media.
Coach, running the ball was more important this year than last year because you're going to run it more often, it appears. Could you judge your running game at Maryland based on the competition?
Probably not. We would have hoped statistically to come out of there with better numbers in the run game. I did think that we had some plays that were well blocked, and I do think we got some ball carriers that will be able to get us some yards. I'm confident and comfortable in what we're doing offensively in the run game. Charlie has a real history of being able to remain patient and stick to the game plan. There were some moments Saturday where we put Kyle in some tough spots and, had to deal with some pressure in the passing game. So hopefully we can remain patient in the run game, get the run game going to give us an opportunity to play the style of football that we would like to play here this year.
Hey, if I could just follow up asking, is Seth Fisher more likely to be more involved this week given his physical situation?
Yes, sir. And again, just to follow up a little bit, during the course of camp, as you know, Seth didn't practice this spring, and then he didn't practice during camp. And then he came back. My dates aren't real good in the moment, but he came back for a week or so and out with oral surgery. So he missed a large portion of not only the winter and spring, but the summer camp. And I've got a really good running back who's sitting in the back of the room here in Jacoby Green, and another really solid, promising young player in Jeremiah Hamlin. So it just made too much sense, to give them the opportunity to take the lead. And I thought what Jacoby did in the game Saturday was exceptional. It was one of those games where, you look at the rushing stats and you didn't recognize that the other contributions that Jacoby made in the game, catching the ball and obviously getting the ball down on the goal line. So a little more of a summation maybe of our running back position at this moment. Yes, sir.
Do you spend more time focusing on the positives from Saturday, what you were able to do well taking the lead at Maryland, or do you spend as much time trying to fix what went wrong?
Yeah, I think that we have plenty to fix, so we have spent a good bit of time here focusing in on those things that we need to do better. And yesterday we spent a good bit of time in the game in an effort to improve our performance, in particular with our punt coverage. So it's a tricky and it's a balance situation, I think. So I think in certain moments we're certainly complimentary and we recognize some of the things that we did in the game well. But holistically, we didn't play well enough to win. The second half was not up to par or standard. So I think we're focusing more right now on getting ourselves where we need to be.
Following up on that I just want to follow up on that. The special teams question, what did you identify to fix? Or was that guy just a great returner?
Well, he's a great returner, and more of a long-winded answer maybe than you're looking for. But even at the start of the game, we instructed Peter Yoder to kick the ball away from him, and he did. It was an absolute perfect kick in the corner of the end zone. The ball came down on the 5-yard line, and he couldn't field it. But by the time he got there, they had no return set up. But he just made a bunch of people miss and made a big return out towards midfield. So he was that type of athlete. Our punt coverage was horrible, and they offered no pressure on our punter. They really put all their resources into their return game. There was one picture on tape where they didn't even have anybody securing the punt. So they overwhelmed us with numbers and holding our guys up to give their return man an opportunity to get some traction. Perfect world in a do-over, you'd run a fake right up the middle. But again, it all happens in real time, and in an opening game, you don't really know what it is that they're going to do. We were probably a little more specific this camp to punt protection, anticipating them to come hard after our punter, and they chose not to. And in doing so, we were exposed. But in being exposed, I think we were able to research and solve a few things that in the long run could serve us well. Sometimes you have to lose a couple of battles to win the war, and we certainly lost that battle last weekend.
Watford, his debut at Hampton kind of turned some heads there. He had a pretty good one. Can you just highlight some of the challenges that he presents and what you've seen from him on film?
Yeah, I like him a lot. I've been familiar with David for, quite a while. Obviously, his time at Virginia, I was very connected to that timeline. There was a moment in time when there was a reality that we thought that he may be coming here. About the time where my nephew was deciding what he was going to do. So we certainly did our homework on him a couple of years ago and very much liked what we saw. I actually made a decision in the staff room that we would be interested and would take him on our roster if, in fact, he did leave Virginia. And then it ended up my nephew left and he stayed. I think that he is a pocket passer who happens to be a really good athlete. And I think that is what Coach Maynard's having him do down there. And sometimes with that style of player, there's this thought that he's more of a runner, or he's more of an option guy, and they start moving in that direction, and he's not able to do those things that he really likes to do, and that's sit in the pocket and throw the ball. So I see him as being a very live-armed, athletic pocket passer. Now, will they run him a lot this week? Maybe. I mean, that wasn't really what they did last week. But we better have our edges set in our pass rush. We better stay in coverage. He'll extend plays. So I like what I see. I think he's a really good player and threw 5 touchdown passes last week in their home opener.
How much different does he make them to prepare for compared to the team that was here last year?
It's a great question. I don't know that comes out until the season plays itself out. You know, kind of for what it's worth, last year I think they were second in the MEAC in total offense, maybe not scoring offense. They had pretty good quarterback play last year. The young man that came up here and played made some plays. You know, they were very athletic, and they were able to make some throws and catches, you know, in our game a year ago and in the other films that we've studied. So I think what they have now down there is different in terms of maybe consistency, you know, and being able to be a little more conventional with what they're doing. But they did have good numbers a year ago, throwing the ball, good numbers a year ago, total offense. So I just sense that right now they are maybe a little more conventional, and maybe Coach Maynard's a little more able to implement the offense that he wants to run, feeling like he's got a quarterback that can execute the base offense.
Anything else, Coach?
Coach Rocco, is the team fairly healthy after a Big Ten game?
Yeah, we were banged up. Velardo is maybe doubtful. Cam Jackson is doubtful, and Lehman Johnson will be out. Lehman had surgery this morning. I'm not sure if it was left or right wrist. I apologize. I think it was his left wrist. Could be season ending. And then Cam actually got hurt yesterday and could be out for a couple of weeks.
Can I be the fly in the ointment that asks if Broad's status is changing?
He's been reinstated. Yes, sir.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Linebacker Omar Howard on the right, and running back Jacoby Green. If possible, please give Omar any questions for Omar first, as this gentleman's got to get to class at 1:30. So go ahead and fire away, guys.
Elmore, is there a feeling that this thing restarts now? You sort of got the Big Ten school out of the way, and now you focus on 10 FCS games.
I think it really restarts every week. So, I mean, obviously last week we were focused on Maryland. This week we're obviously focused on Hampton. So as a matter of restarting, it does restart, but it's just for week by week.
Do you guys have a good sense of where you are at the beginning of the season after playing a game like that and facing another former Division I quarterback this week as a defense?
Yeah, I think we have a pretty good sense just from summer camp. We know that we can play some solid D, especially going against our offense, which can put up a lot of points. You know, being a duel with a solid running game and solid passing game. So I think we have a pretty good sense that we can compete at any level.
Omar, have you seen David Watford on film yet? And if so, what does he bring to the table, and what are you guys going to have to contain on Saturday to come out with a W?
Yeah, we've seen quite a bit of film actually on him. He does throw a really good ball. He puts it on point. We are going to have to contain him. He looks to scramble to throw, so we got to stay committed to knowing our job and doing our job, make sure we don't break down in the pass coverage just when he scrambles.
Coach said that he's a pocket passer comfortably, he seems to be, but he also has a lot of athleticism. You know, for you guys, does that present an even bigger challenge in preparation, trying to prepare for a guy that's a dual threat like that?
I think any dual threat quarterback can be a challenge in itself, but I think him being a pocket passer kind of suits us just because we have so much speed in the backfield.
Did you take away some positives from last week, even though you give up 50 points? You started strong defensively.
Yeah, I think we know that we can bow up when it's time to bow up. Obviously, we had a few times when we started with our backs against the wall. We saw in the game last week that we can stop them if we put our minds to it.
Anything else for Omar? All right, Omar, you're good?
Thanks, Omar.
Thank you.
Thanks, Omar.
Hey, Jacoby, can you just talk about the running game, where you are confidence-wise, and feel like you can do some stuff in the running game?
Yeah, I feel like this year is going to be a very exciting year for the running backs. I honestly feel like we can have the best backfield in the CAA or in the FCS level. We're very confident, very poised, very team-headed. We're just going to do whatever it takes to help our team win.
Was the addition of Seth maybe in a more expanded role? How does that help the entire backfield?
It's like a combination. It's like me, I'm the quicker guy. Seth is going to pound you. We have Jeremiah that's a little bit of both. He can make moves. He can run you over. We have TJ Moon at fullback when he's a bruiser. He can get the ball if need be. We have Pavic. He's a bruiser also. We just have a lot of talent in the backfield.
What do you remember from last year's game that you feel like you can still use? Something about the defense that you think like, okay, this is what I remember from them, and this is what we're going to see?
Not really. I'm just really focused on us this year and how the things that we did wrong in the game, we need to correct in this game to make it more effective, the running game more effective.
You caught the ball out of the backfield a lot on Saturday. Is that going to be part of the featured offense this year? Are you going to catch it as much as you run it?
Yeah, I think with Coach Fisher, he likes to get me outside in the open field, so I assume that's what it's going to be.
You like that better?
Yeah, actually. I don't have to.
You like not running as much, or having the ball in the open field as opposed to smashing it between the tackles every time?
Yeah, I don't like to deal with linebackers like that. Get in and get out. Linebackers and DNs and tackles.
So you had a huge game against Hampton last year, $125, couple of touchdowns. Do you anticipate them kind of focusing on you on defense, or do you think you have a target on your back a little bit going into this week?
I mean, I assume it because I had so many yards and 2 touchdowns, but if they focus on me, they're going to have to worry about Seth in the end because too much focus on me will leave him with not enough.
You were pretty much the guy in the first half Saturday. Maryland, I mean, Seth wasn't in there. What was your mindset for that part of the game where you didn't have Seth, to your point that the two of you are a good combination? There was no combination. You had to run the ball and catch the ball.
I just felt like I had to put the team on my back. So to a certain point, Kyle was a little nervous. It's like the team was nervous, and I feel like I've been in that position before to carry the team, and I stepped up to my fullest.
Yeah, how do you think you handled that role?
I think I could have did better. I had a couple of MEs, missed assignments, but other than that, I think I handled it very well.
And how do you feel after carrying that expanded load? Are you still hurting from a Big Ten defense?
I actually wasn't hurting from the defense. It was more because of me and my cutting. Hurt my feet a little bit, but nothing major.
Hey, the 4th down play, what did that do for you guys offensively, the pass to you and went for it on 4th down, and how much did that kind of jumpstart the offense for the day and you?
I think as soon as the team seen me do that, they thought we can play with these guys, and when that happened, it seemed like the whole sidelines and everybody jumped up, was ready to play, and we took it down and scored.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Jacoby.